Peace and love, everyone. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Not Church. I'm Peter Panagore, a near-death experiencer and a struggler with technology. I hope you can hear the birds outside. I'm also a servant of the beloved. I think you are too. Thanks for being here live, my friends. I appreciate it. Hey, Tom. Casey, I'll get back to you in a few minutes about that. Maybe at Mystic Tea Salon, which you're all invited to at the top of the hour. I hope that you can come. The link is in the below. Hey, Andrea Stone. Good morning. Hi, Jamie. Terry, holding your space. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. Betty A. Maggie in Glasgow. Thanks for being here live this morning. Let's take a breath. Peace. Let's take maybe 3 breaths and quiet down a little bit and settle in. Just a few breaths together. Thanks, everybody. Hey, let me know if the birds are too loud or if the car goes by. I think I haven't mastered today, but we'll find out. Let me know. I love listening to them as I talk, as I'm here with you all. And I love being here present live with you. And thanks for watching by recording too. And I know that not everybody can be here live. So thanks for watching by recording. Hey, Pat. Hi, Sue. So in the comments this past week, a woman wrote, quote, "The soils of November grow cold. The leaves cover the seeds, which will slumber safely beneath. And nobody can stop spring, with a capital S, from coming. You once said," meaning me, Peter, "that you felt that we have to endure hard times before something better, much better comes along." It's true, I did say that, and I still think it's true. And sometimes the sun shines most brightly on the coldest, windiest days. Let's look after one another this winter, freely share the warmth no chill can steal away, and quietly, calmly remember, love conquers all. Yes, love conquers all. Thanks for writing that this week. So fear not. Let's take just a moment, dear souls, to tune in deeply. There's the ducks out there scratching up the leaves. Let's take a moment here to tune in deeply to the power of the words that we speak, think, and pray. What we hold in our head. Whatever we hold as our God in our head. And whether we offer our prayers, whether we know it or not, I get a little distracted by the outside, I'm going to kill it. Whatever you hold as your God in your mind, that's what you pray to, whether you know it or not. And if you make worry or fear your God, ruminating on what could be, on what you're afraid of, then your thoughts will pray to fear, inviting it to shape your life according to its dark designs. What we are is what we think. What we think is what we become. But remember this truth. Remember this truth with a capital T. God, source, the beloved, is infinite and unconditional love. Always has been, is now, and always will be. When you pray to love above, capital L, capital A, when you pray to love above, you pray to the highest good of love itself inside yourself and for the world. That highest good is flourishing. It's the flourishing of all humanity in the core of our being. because we are sparks and emanations of this eternal love, each one of us. And none of us can perfectly see the highest good for humanity. We can't. We don't know what it is. And we don't know whether it's going to unfold in a blossoming of beauty and grace like a flower reaching for the light, or whether it will be cracked open like a seed breaking free from a husk, ready to grow. So I ask you to reflect on your journey. Now, haven't there been moments where you've evolved through grace and times when breaking down was necessary for rebirth? And so it is with humanity and society. And so I invite you to pray your devotions to love, not to fear, not to worry, not to anger. Our collective fears, well, they cry out and they ache for release from its own crushing weight. So what we say to ourselves, what we think about, our ruminations, they become who we are, and their dark designs, well, they create our life to come here in this world. So let the precious fear that we hold so tightly, the worry that we carry, my precious, like Gollum and Bilbo Baggins and the Hobbit, our precious fear, our precious worries, let them be transformed through the remaking of our minds, and let love become our prayer and ourselves. People have been wondering why I've been so quiet the past couple weeks. I've been spending a lot of my time controlling my mind, chanting to myself, keeping my mind on love, keeping my mind on the divine. Because can worry add a single hour to your life? Or does worrying subtract, make misery, and solve nothing? How will you react rationally in the world if the repetitive thoughts of fear and worry and anger cloud your mind? We can't act rationally in the world when those things rule us. I keep thinking about the musical Annie. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. The sun's out right now, right where I am anyway, right here anyway. I'd rather keep my attention on the goodness of the center of my soul, because it's in this space that I understand my own eternal nature, and I'm allowed then to live through that in my life, no matter what comes, no matter the future. So, dear souls, the words and thoughts we keep in our minds direct our life. We become what we think. As for me, I choose love, light, life, and eternity. It's not my place, but I advise you to do the same. And then, with a clearer mind, we can understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the highest wickedness, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. And for me, the wickedness of myself, I know that's going to be hard for people to hear, is the story I tell myself about fear, worry, and anger. That's the spiritual wickedness I struggle against. And I found that the solution, for me at least, is to turn and return my mind and my heart toward my eternal nature, which I saw and understood and still experience here and now after my first NDE. Because beyond this wickedness, this, well, what are the seven deadly sins? They're like greed and lust and covetousness and gluttony. I can't remember them all. But the things that bring me down, deceitfulness, I instead aim myself at the divine and the virtues of the presence of the light itself. And let those things in the world, for now, take care of themselves. I need the peace inside me. I need to live inside this light in the here and now in order to be what I can be in the world, which I think all of us are here for, bringing the light and the beauty to the place where we are as we stand. And we'll endure this, and we're going to find a way through it, our own darkness, maybe the darkness that we encounter in the world. We're going to find our way through it by cultivating compassion, love, kindness, fortitude, strength, and perseverance in our hearts, by aiming at the oneness of being. Because this eternal nature of ourselves, well, it's eternal. It outlasts us, was before us, and is stronger than anything in the world now. And so how do we stop our repeated prayers to the gods of fear, worry, and anxiety, to the God of anger? Well, you already know the answer to that. We did it a minute ago. Take control of your thoughts. Use your breath and focus your mind. Listen to what your head's saying to you. And whenever it runs away with those prayers to the God of fear, the God of worry, the God of anger, the God of anxiety, redirect it toward your devotion to love above with a capital L and a capital A, my beloved, your beloved. And then with a calming mind, with a calm mind, face whatever's in front of you, because your heart is facing the light itself. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. And don't let the wickedness rule your mind. Don't let it. You have control over what you think. The light dispels darkness. That's what light does. You turn on the light in the dark room, darkness is gone. In adversity, be the light. Be the light inside yourself. Let the light be inside yourself. Be the light in the world, in adversity. Become light. Let yourself be a channel of peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. St. Francis, right? Where there's ignorance, understanding. Be a channel. Step aside, let the light through. Just be. Live your life. Being the light. It's a simple way of living. Thanks for listening. I'm Peter Panagore, near-death experiencer. This is not church. No Bravo, Sierra. No dogma, no doctrine. Just the light itself. Your financial support strengthens our community. Thank you very much for your support. I wouldn't be here, couldn't be here without you. You can visit peterpanagore.love and make sure to join us for Mystic Tea Salon at the top of the hour, where you are safe and free to share your mystical experiences, understandings, confusions, and continue our community conversation from this morning, from the past, from whichever you bring. And the link is in the description. Let's take a moment here and see what people are saying. Starting at the bottom, Big Gas. Hey, I don't hate anyone. I just learned so much the last few years and awakened with it. It's been rough. Yeah, it's not easy, Big Gas. And when you don't hate anyone, well, that creates a calm heart. And there's no room for bitterness then, no room for anger when there's only room for love. I'm not a hater either, even against the people who thought they were my enemies in my life. Never hated them. Still don't. Can't even. Because one of the benefits, the side effects of training your mind into the place of peace, allowing the peace to assert itself, is the innate capacity for the light to see itself in others. I've said this 1,000 times. The more you see it inside yourself, the more you see it in others. And when you see it in others, you can't hate them because you see what they are, which is the divine light itself. There's no room for hate and love. I'm glad that you've had this difficult, and I know that it's difficult, awakening. Thank you, Peter. We can't control the world stage, but we can make decisions about our responses moment by moment. That helps me not feel overwhelmed. Exactly, Holly. I can't control the world any more than I can control the tide rising or the tide receding out there, the wind blowing or the wind not blowing. I can only cultivate myself and then live in the world among my neighbors, with my family, people that I meet as I'm walking down the street. It's the people that you meet each day who need the peace inside you to be real, not pretend. To be in the place of peace while you meet with people who might not think that you're the cat's meow, the bee's knees. They might think the opposite. But that doesn't mean you must. People say our future is inevitable. We already won. Why would I have been giving all this knowledge if that were true? Yeah, well, we might go through some hard times coming. I mean, heck, the climate change alone is going to be, it already is a major hard time. We're given this knowledge because humanity needs us to. So I hope she's not listening today. Please don't. I had dinner the other night with a woman who used to be Kofi Annan from the UN's speechwriter and lives in my town. And we were talking about this. We were talking about a hope for humanity in the future. And she's lived in this world of global politics big time for a long time. And she asked me, what's the practicality of this love? What's the practicality of bringing the light into the world? And I didn't give her a good answer at the time, but as I thought it over, because I had a little too much Prosecco. And anyway, so that's not a good thing. It was fun, but it wasn't a good thing for thinking. As I thought it over after, the practicality is the seeing of the light inside the other in all of these troubled times. When we see and recognize the other person as ourselves, that eliminates all these barriers. And so whatever cataclysms fall upon us, what you've been given, Big Kaz, is the beginning, or maybe the deep, because I don't know you yet, let's call it a deep understanding of the light inside of humanity. And when you have that, then you become that wherever you go, with whomever you are. And what that means is, in the midst of the turmoil, you become a stabilizing factor. And we are the stabilizing factors. I was reading some of Revelation, was it 7, I think, and 14, where it talks about the mark on not the mark of the beast, but the mark of that God puts upon the 144,000 in order that they may be overlooked during the time of turmoil. This is all mythology, okay? But this part is not mythology. It's a symbol. It talks about this invisible mark on the forehead of the people who are, well, in the light itself. And this is what happens in an awakening. You get the mark of light inside you. And when you have the mark of light inside you and you cultivate that mark of light inside you, it becomes a living thing in your life. It's the decisions that you make. It's the kindnesses that you give. And it might not be big things. It might not be like this person who has a big spoon stirring in the pot of the world. She's got a big wooden spoon stirring the pot of the world in a positive way. She's a good person, good heart. We do this in our small ways, in our little ways, wherever we go. And so the knowledge that you've been given is going to be helpful to you and to the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. I love that song, Sesame Street. The biggest problem I've had this week is refusing in conversations to hate the other side. They're both materialistic and fall short supporting humanity and the earth. Hate just brings more hate. It just does. It solves nothing. I'm glad that you don't. To turn, turn shall be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. This is Wendy. This is the Shakers, who were Mainers. They were Mainers, they were. To turn, turn shall be our delight, till by turning, turning we come round right. Yeah, me too. I love that too, Sean. Mark of the beautiful light. It's a mark of the beautiful light. I think it's Revelation 7. 6 might be. I'm not good at that part of it. I awakened with an NDE, then gained access to the astral. It was beautiful. And then I learned everything. Well, there you go. Big gas. Yep. An NDE will do that to you. Now you know. And now you become that in the world where you live and can be cultivated, big gas. And I should let you know, it takes a long time to integrate all of it from your NDE. It takes about 10 years. And it took me longer. Maybe I'm a slow learner. But the more you contemplate it, the more you dive into it, the deeper the light will become for you. The more you'll understand. The less, the difficulties will still be there, but you'll adjust to them. It's a hard adjustment. But now you have the light inside yourself. I found that the best way, as St. Francis said, preach the gospel at all times, but sometimes use words. Just be a good person. That's really all it takes. I still feel all that emotion. You can't shake it. Well, the emotion from the experience, it's going to take a long time. And I'm sorry, maybe that's bad news for you, but it wasn't good news for me. It took a very long time to adjust to it. And I had some emotions from it too, and they weren't always pleasant. You'll get used to it. And I found that what I said this morning is true about my integration of my NDE, is that when I concentrate on the light and the love itself is when my heart becomes healed and calm, and I understand who I am in the world as I live. And as I do that, I find my balance in all of the circumstances I'm in. I might not like those circumstances. I might have emotional responses to those. But the more I lean into the place where I have been, my NDE, yours, the better I am in the world. I let the light lead. And that was the biggest lesson I think I learned. Right? Letting the light lead. Hi, Primary Feathers. I think we're getting so bright that we level up in the game to the ultra difficult level. Yes, we are in a very difficult level. And that's the way those games work, right? When you're playing those, I haven't played a lot of them, but I do know that those electronics games, those virtual games, when you level up, it gets more difficult. But you're also ready for it. So it's like going in when you're in kindergarten, you're not really ready for first grade, but by the end of kindergarten, you are. By the end of high school, you're ready for what comes next. You might not have been at the beginning of high school, but you are by the time you get there. And that's what happens in these games too. You're actually ready for what comes next. I think we're ready for it. There's hundreds of millions of near-death experiencers and many, many, many more mystical experiences all over the world, all in the light itself, in the United States, in Canada, in Hungary, in Iran, in Ukraine, all over the world. We're everywhere. This is a first time for this. So we have this huge opportunity. Don't forget that. And also remember that you're not from here and you get to go home. And that is the greatest thing that there is. And knowing that, it's very freeing to know that one is not from here and gets to go home. And if you've ever felt the direct light at all, in any way whatsoever, near death, like near death, spiritually transformative, whatever way that you've felt it, that's a taste of heaven. And that taste is the reality itself. Seeing the simulation and everything now. Yeah, it is big gas. It's the simulation and everything now. And you can't help but see it. So attached to the game writer, that's what I chose to do. And I found that by attaching to the game writer, that's where my peace is. That's where my balance is. And then I get to function in the world. That's one of the reasons why I like the Matrix movies. Because, when you lean into the code, you find out that you can influence the world with peace and light and love, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. I stretched that metaphor a little too far. And we only have a couple minutes here. Remember, the link for Mystic Tea Salon is below, and I'll see you there in a couple of minutes. I'm going to look over here for another minute or so. For me, it helps while maintaining the state of being and channeling the love to radiate compassion for others who might not understand or know that we are light and love. Exactly so, Amy. Exactly so. And if one cultivates that in one's private, personal life, then it's so much easier to carry it into the daily world. And if you do it in community, it makes it even easier. I'm trying to help while I'm awakening. Well, of course, good for you. I'm glad you are. You should. It's the job. In adversity, be the light. Exactly. All right, Lynn, thank you very much. I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Mystic Tea Salon. Do come and visit us. Like and subscribe. It's important. It's helpful. We're a niche community. We're a niche in the world. Peace and love to you all. Thanks for being here from the center of myself. Peace.